I stood in my sister's perfectly manicured backyard, surrounded by pink and blue balloons, watching her rub her barely visible baby bump while our mother cooed over her like she was the second coming of Mother Teresa. The familiar knot in my stomach tightened as I heard the whispers. Poor Skylar, still single at 34. Such a shame she focused so much on her career. Tick-tock. "Sky, come feel the baby." Raquel waved me over, her diamond ring catching the sunlight. "You should practice for when you finally have your own. You know, if you ever do." I plastered on my best fake smile and walked over, the same smile I'd perfected through years of family gatherings. The same smile I wore when Gordon left after the fertility specialist gave us the news. The same smile I wore every time someone asked why a successful marketing executive like me couldn't just find a nice man and settle down. "Thanks, Rack," I said, placing my hand gently on her stomach. "I'm sure I'll get plenty of practice babysitting my new niece or nephew." Mom appeared beside us, champagne flute in hand. "Skylar, darling, I ran into Janet from church yesterday. Her son Michael is divorced now, and he's a doctor." "Mom, please." I stepped back, bumping into a table laden with perfectly frosted cupcakes. "I'm not interested in being someone's second choice." "You can't afford to be picky anymore, sweetie," she stage whispered, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "Your biological clock is apparently the favorite topic at every family gathering," I cut in, maintaining my smile even as my cheeks burned. "How about we focus on Raquel's happy news instead?" Aaliyah, my cousin, joined our little circle. "Oh my God, Sky, did you hear about that new fertility treatment they're testing in Sweden? Maybe you should look into that." The chatter around us grew louder, more pointed. I caught fragments of conversations. Career women always regret it later, and such a shame she'd make such pretty babies, while maintaining my practiced expression. They had no idea about the appointment I'd had yesterday with Fletcher, the surrogacy consultant. No clue about the plans already set in motion. "Remember when we were little?" Raquel said, addressing the growing crowd of well-wishers. "And Skylar would always say she'd be the first one to have babies. Funny how life works out, isn't it? This is my second, and she's still—" She trailed off with a theatrical shrug. I remembered. All right. I remembered Mom buying Raquel a baby doll every Christmas while I got business suits for my Barbies because I wasn't the maternal type. I remembered Raquel announcing her first pregnancy at my promotion celebration dinner, effectively hijacking the evening. I remembered every single slight, every backhanded comment, every pitying look. "Actually," I said, reaching for a cupcake, "I have some exciting news of my own to share soon." "Another promotion?" Mom rolled her eyes. "Honey, there's more to life than corner offices." "Oh, it's much bigger than that." I took a delicate bite of the cupcake, savoring both the sweetness and the confused looks on their faces. "I'm planning a little celebration of my own. You'll all be getting invitations soon." "What kind of celebration?" Raquel's voice had an edge to it. "You'll see." I wiped a crumb from my lip. "It's going to be quite revealing." The afternoon dragged on, a parade of baby clothes and unsolicited advice. I sat through it all, checking my phone occasionally to read updates from Samantha about the venue arrangements we were making. My best friend was the only one who knew what was coming. As the party wound down, Raquel cornered me by the gift table. "Whatever you're planning, Sky, just remember, this is my time. Don't try to steal my thunder." I looked at my little sister, really looked at her. The golden child, the perfect daughter, the one who'd followed the prescribed path and reaped all the rewards. "Don't worry, Rack," I said softly. "I wouldn't dream of stealing your thunder. I'm creating my own storm." I left the baby shower early, citing work commitments. As I drove home, I thought about the embossed invitation sitting in my desk drawer, waiting to be sent. About the contract I'd signed yesterday. About the way their faces would look when they realized just how wrong they'd been about me. They thought they knew my story. They thought they could write my ending. But they had no idea what was coming. "You're really going through with this?" Samantha asked, sprawled on my couch with a glass of wine. She held up one of the cream-colored invitations I'd spent hours designing. It's deliciously evil. I love it. They've had this coming for years. I curled up in my armchair, thinking about the baby shower yesterday. You should have seen Gordon at the coffee shop last week. He actually had the nerve to ask if I was seeing anyone. The same Gordon who dumped you because of the fertility issues. Samantha sat up straight. What did you say? Nothing. I just smiled and walked out. I touched my stomach unconsciously, remembering the day the doctor had delivered the news. Gordon had squeezed my hand, promised we'd figure it out together. 2 weeks later, he was gone. My phone buzzed, a text from Fletcher. The surrogate passed all her medical screenings. We're good to proceed with the transfer next week. This is really happening, I whispered, showing Samantha the message. Hell yes, it is. She raised her glass. To your future baby, conceived without waiting for Prince Charming or your family's approval. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Aaliyah standing there, holding a Tupperware container. Leftover cupcakes from the shower, she said, inviting herself in. Oh, hi, Samantha. Sky, what's this about a celebration? Mom and Raquel are convinced you're either getting married in secret or having some kind of breakdown. Neither, I said, taking the container. But thanks for the cupcakes. Aaliyah spotted the invitations on my coffee table. Future family celebration? What does that mean? You'll find out when everyone else does. I moved to block her view of the other party planning materials scattered around. Come on, Sky, you can tell me. Is it about that fertility treatment I mentioned? Because I've been doing research. Aaliyah, I cut her off firmly. I appreciate the concern, but my reproductive choices aren't up for family discussion. After she left, Samantha helped me stuff invitations into envelopes. Your cousin's going to spread theories all over the family group chat. You know that, right? Let them talk. I sealed another envelope. They've been talking about me for years anyway. The next morning, I met Fletcher at his office to sign the final paperwork. The surrogate, a kind-faced woman named Lisa, was there too. Everything looks good, Fletcher said, reviewing the documents. The embryo transfer is scheduled for next Tuesday. Are you ready? I thought about all the nights I'd cried myself to sleep, about Mom's constant hints about adoption, about Raquel's smug face at her baby shower. More than ready. Your family must be so excited, Lisa said warmly. They don't know yet. I signed the last page. But they will soon. That evening, Mum called. Skylar, what's this invitation I just received? Are you planning something foolish? Define foolish, I said, sorting through work emails. Is it foolish to want to celebrate good news with my family? Don't be smart with me. Raquel is very upset. She thinks you're trying to overshadow her pregnancy announcement. I laughed. Of course she does. Heaven forbid anyone else have a moment in the spotlight. Well, what is it then? Please tell me you haven't done anything rash. Mom, I have a meeting. We can talk about this at the celebration. But, I hung up, hands shaking slightly. My phone immediately lit up with text from Raquel. Raquel, what are you playing at? Raquel, Mom's worried sick. Raquel, if this is some attention-seeking stunt, I left them unread and called Samantha instead. The venue's confirmed, she said before I could speak. And I found the perfect photographer to capture their faces when you make the announcement. You're evil, I laughed. I love it. Hey, they want a show. Let's give them one they'll never forget. I walked to my spare room, soon to be the nursery, and ran my hand along the empty walls. In a few months, this room would hold my baby. My child, created through my determination, funded by my career, supported by my chosen family. The room's emptiness wouldn't last much longer. Neither would my family's illusions about controlling my life. My phone buzzed again. A message from Brian, Raquel's husband. Whatever you're planning, be careful. They're already sharpening their knives. I typed back, tell them to bring their best weapons. They'll need them. Looking out my window at the setting sun, I felt a strange calm settle over me. Years of their judgment, their pity, their attempts to mold me into their version of success. It was all about to blow up in their faces, and I couldn't wait to light the fuse. The family dinner at Mom's house felt like walking into a trap. Every head turned when I entered, conversations dropping to whispers. Raquel sat at the head of the table, her hand resting protectively over her stomach, while Mom fussed over the roast chicken. "Skylar, darling, you're late," Mom said, not looking up from her carving. "We were just discussing your event." "Were you?" I took my usual seat, the wobbly chair no one else wanted. "How fascinating." Aaliyah leaned forward, wine sloshing in her glass. "I heard from Janet at the gym that you've been seen coming out of that fancy fertility clinic on 5th Street. The table went silent. I took a slow sip of water, letting the tension build. "Actually," I said, "I was there for a business meeting. One of my clients is a medical group." "Oh." Aaliyah deflated visibly. "But then what's this celebration about?" Mom set down the carving knife with a sharp clank. "Yes, Skylar, enlighten us, because right now your sister is very upset." "I'm not upset," Raquel interrupted, her voice tight. "I just think the timing is interesting." Brian caught my eye from across the table, giving me a subtle eye roll. At least someone else saw through this performance. "Speaking of timing," Mom brightened suddenly, "I have wonderful news. Raquel, sweetie, why don't you tell everyone?" My sister stood up, practically glowing. "Well, we had our 12-week scan today and—" She pulled out an ultrasound photo, passing it around the table. "It's a girl." The room erupted in squeals and congratulations. I clapped politely, watching Mom dab at her eyes with a napkin. "Another granddaughter," she sobbed. "If only your father were here to see this. He'd be so proud." "Yes," I said quietly. "Dad always did love a good surprise." Raquel's eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing at all." I reached into my bag and pulled out a stack of embossed envelopes. "Since we're all here, I might as well hand these out in person." I distributed the invitations one by one, watching their faces as they read the elegant script. "Please join Skylar Sullivan for a joyful future family celebration." "Future family?" Mom's voice cracked. "What exactly does that mean?" "It means," I said, serving myself some salad, "that I have something special to share with everyone. Something that might challenge your assumptions about what makes a family." "I knew it." Aaliyah jumped up. "You're adopting." "Or she's finally met someone," Mom said hopefully. "Is that it, darling? Have you been hiding a relationship from us?" I smiled, remembering the successful embryo transfer from last week. "You'll find out everything at the celebration. I promise it'll be illuminating." "This is ridiculous," Raquel snapped. "You're obviously planning something to steal attention from my pregnancy. Just like you always do." "Always do," I laughed. "That's rich coming from the person who announced her first pregnancy at my promotion dinner." "That was different, was it?" I stood up, gathering my things. "You know what? I'm not very hungry anymore. But I'll see you all at the celebration. Don't forget to RSVP." As I headed for the door, I heard Alea's stage whisper. "I saw her having lunch with Samantha yesterday, and they were talking about some kind of medical procedure." "Perfect. Let them speculate. Let them spread their theories in whispers. It would make the revelation all the sweeter." In the driveway, Brian caught up with me. "Hey, Sky, whatever this is about, just be prepared, okay? Raquel's been making calls, trying to figure out what you're planning." "Let her try." I unlocked my car. "She won't see this coming." She mentioned bringing cameras to the event, said something about documenting everything. I smiled, thinking of the professional photographer Samantha had already booked. Good. The more documentation, the better. That night, I lay in bed reading messages from the family group chat that had exploded after dinner. "Mom, Skylar, please call me. We're worried about you." Alea. "Does anyone else think she's acting weird?" Raquel. "She's always been attention-seeking, but this is a new low." My phone buzzed with a text from Fletcher. "Congratulations. Blood test confirms pregnancy. The surrogate is doing well." I touched my screen, tracing the words with my finger. Somewhere out there, my baby was already growing, completely unaware of the storm they were about to cause. Let my family plot and scheme. Let them try to figure it out. In a few weeks, They'd learn what real surprise feels like, and I'd be there to watch every moment of their realization. "I've got dirt on your sister," Samantha announced, barging into my office during lunch. She dropped her phone on my desk, showing me Raquel's social media post. "Look what she's planning." The post showed Raquel posing with an expensive video camera. Caption: "Getting ready to capture some very interesting family moments. Sometimes people need to be exposed." "Subtle," I said, pushing away my salad. She always did have a flair for drama. "Should we cancel the celebration?" "Cancel?" I laughed. "No, let her bring her camera. It'll make great footage for my own video presentation." My phone buzzed. A text from Brian. "Heads up, Raquel's gathering evidence about your mental breakdown. Says she's going to stage an intervention at your event." "Evidence?" Samantha read over my shoulder. "What evidence?" Before I could answer, my office door opened again. Raquel waddled in, wearing a fitted maternity dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "We need to talk," she announced, glaring at Samantha. "Privately." Samantha squeezed my shoulder before leaving. "Call me later." Raquel settled into the visitor's chair, arranging herself carefully. "I know what you're doing." "Do you?" I kept my voice neutral, remembering all the times she'd burst into my room as kids, destroying my things because she knew I'd taken something of hers. "You're having some kind of breakdown because you can't handle my happiness. First my marriage, then my babies." She leaned forward. "But this little stunt you're planning, it stops now." "Or what?" "Or I'll show everyone the truth." She pulled out her phone, playing a recording. It was me, talking to Samantha at a cafe. "The transfer was successful. Everything's proceeding as planned. You're stalking me now." Aaliyah recorded it. "She was sitting behind you." Raquel smiled triumphantly. "What exactly are you transferring, Sky? Money to some sketchy fertility clinic? Eggs to some random surrogate?" I thought about the healthy baby growing inside Lisa, about the carefully planned reveal video, about the years of condescension I'd endured. "You really want to play this game?" "It's not a game. I'm trying to protect you from embarrassing yourself." She stood up, smoothing her dress. "Cancel your little party, or I'll make sure everyone knows exactly how desperate you've become." After she left, I called Samantha. "Change of plans. We need to make the video presentation even more powerful." "What did she say?" "She thinks she's caught me in something shameful." I started packing up my desk. Time to show her what shame really looks like. That evening, I dug through old family photos, finding what I needed. Raquel announcing her engagement at my graduation dinner. Raquel wearing white to my best friend's wedding. Raquel interrupting my father's last birthday celebration to share her promotion news. The pattern was clear. It had always been clear. My phone lit up with messages. "Mom, darling, please reconsider this event. We can get you help." Alea. "Everyone's really worried about you." Brian. "Raquel's invited half the extended family. Says she wants witnesses." I forwarded everything to Fletcher, who replied immediately. "All legal documentation is in order. They can't touch you or the surrogacy arrangement." Samantha called while I was scanning the old photos. The venue called. Raquel tried to cancel our booking, claiming to be your sister and power of attorney. Of course she did. I wasn't even surprised. "What did they say?" "They called to verify. I handled it." She paused. "Sky, she's really trying to sabotage this." "I know." I looked at a photo from my 10th birthday. Raquel blowing out my candles while Mum photographed her instead of me. But this time, her sabotage is going to blow up in her face. I spent the rest of the evening finalizing the presentation. Photos of my successful career, my independent life, my journey to motherhood on my own terms, interspersed with clips of their cruel comments, their dismissive attitudes, their constant undermining. Let Raquel bring her camera. Let her gather her witnesses. Let her think she's going to expose me. My phone buzzed one last time. Brian again. "She's planning something big for your event. Says she's going to save you from yourself." I typed back. "Tell her to bring it. I've got 20 years of receipts ready to go." Looking at my reflection in the darkened window, I smiled. Raquel always did love being the center of attention. She was about to get more attention than she'd ever bargained for, and this time I'd be the one holding the camera. "The baby's heartbeat is strong," Lisa said, lying on the examination table as the ultrasound technician moved the wand across her belly. "Would you like to hear it?" I nodded, unable to speak. The room filled with a rapid whooshing sound, my baby's heartbeat, my child growing healthy and strong, despite everyone who said I'd never be a mother. "Everything looks perfect," Fletcher said, reviewing the scan, 12 weeks along and developing beautifully. After the appointment, I sat in my car, holding the ultrasound photos. My phone buzzed with messages about tomorrow's celebration. Raquel, "Last chance to cancel." Mom, "Pastor Mike is available for counseling if you need to talk." Alea, "The whole family's coming, even Aunt Margaret from Florida." I drove to the venue for the final walkthrough. Samantha was already there, directing the setup crew. "The video equipment is tested and ready," she said, hugging me. "How was the appointment?" I showed her the ultrasound photos. "It's real, Sam. There's really a baby. Of course it's real." She squeezed my hand. "And tomorrow, everyone's going to know about it." "Ms. Sullivan," the venue coordinator approached with a clipboard. "We had another call from your sister trying to modify the arrangements. She wanted to add a podium for some kind of intervention speech." "Decline any changes," I said firmly, "and only take instructions from me or Samantha." "Already done." She smiled. "We deal with family drama all the time." The sound system technician waved us over to test the video presentation. On the giant screen, images flashed by, me at work events, winning awards, building my career. Then came the harder moments, Gordon walking out, Mom's dismissive comments, Raquel's constant overshadowing. "Is it too much?" I asked Samantha. "It's the truth," she said. "They can handle seeing themselves for once." My phone rang. Brian. "Sky, I should warn you, Raquel's invited some people from your past, including Gordon." My stomach clenched. "Gordon? Why?" "She thinks he'll help prove you're unstable or something. Says he has stories about your obsession with having a baby." I thought about Gordon's face when he left, how he'd said I was too focused on having children. The irony almost made me laugh. "Let him come," I said. "He can watch the show with everyone else." That evening, I met Lisa for dinner. She was showing slightly now, a small bump that held my future. "Are you sure you want to announce it this way?" she asked, concerned. "Family conflicts can get messy." "They made it messy," I said, thinking of all the tears I'd shed alone. "I'm just bringing everything into the light." Back home, I laid out my outfit for tomorrow, a sleek white dress that subtly suggested new beginnings. My phone kept buzzing. "Mom. Skylar, please call me. We're all so worried." Raquel. "Hope you're ready for tomorrow." Alea. "OMG, is Gordon really coming?" I turned off my phone and opened my laptop, reviewing my speech one last time. The words I'd practiced so many times. "You thought you knew my story. You thought you could write my ending. But while you were busy judging me, I was busy creating the family I deserve." A text from Fletcher broke through my phone's silence. "Legal team confirms everything's bulletproof. No one can stop this." I walked to the nursery, now filled with hidden purchases. A crib still in its box, wrapped baby clothes, books about motherhood. Tomorrow, I'd stop hiding. Samantha called one last time. "Security's arranged. If anyone tries to interrupt your speech or cause problems, they'll be removed." "Thanks, Sam, for everything. Hey, what are best friends for? Besides, I can't wait to see their faces." She paused. "Are you ready?" I touched my flat stomach, thinking of my baby growing in Lisa's. Thought of all the family events where I'd been belittled, all the times I'd smiled through their cruelty. "I've been ready for years," I said. "They just didn't know it." I fell asleep that night dreaming of tomorrow's revelation, of shocked faces and dropped jaws, of carefully constructed superiority crumbling into dust. Let them bring their cameras. Let them invite the whole family. Let them try to stage their intervention. Tomorrow, they'd learn what it means to underestimate me. Tomorrow, I'd finally show them who I really am, and not one of them would ever look at me the same way again. The venue looked perfect. Elegant white flowers, soft lighting, and a giant screen waiting to tell my truth. Guests filtered in, their confusion evident as they took in the baby-themed decorations mixed with career accomplishments. "Skylar," Mum rushed over, gripping my arm. "What is all this? And why is Pastor Mike here? You invited him, remember, for my intervention." Her face paled. "We're just concerned. Save it for the presentation, Mom." I gently removed her hand. "You'll want to find a good seat." Raquel swept in wearing a tight dress that emphasized her baby bump, camera crew in tow. "Ready for your close-up, sis?" "Always." I smiled at her cameraman. "Make sure you get my good side." Gordon arrived next, looking uncomfortable in his suit. Our eyes met across the room, and he quickly looked away. "Coward." "Places, everyone," Samantha called out. "The presentation is about to begin." The lights dimmed. I took my place on stage as the screen lit up with my company logo. "Welcome, family and friends," I began. "You're all wondering why I've gathered you here today." "Just get on with it," Raquel shouted from her seat, camera pointed at me. "As you wish." I nodded to the technician. The screen changed to show a montage of family gatherings. Every moment they'd undermined me, every cruel comment caught on video. Raquel at my graduation. Sky's finally finishing college. Only took her 6 years. Mom at Christmas. "When are you going to give me grandchildren? Your eggs won't last forever." Aaliyah at a baby shower. "At least you can focus on your career, since the other stuff isn't working out." Gasps filled the room. I saw Aaliyah sink lower in her seat. "For years," I continued, "you've judged my choices, mocked my dreams, and pitied my supposed emptiness." The screen shifted to new footage, me in professional settings, winning awards, leading teams. Then, slowly, it transitioned to something else: medical offices, consultation rooms, and finally... "Oh my God," Raquel stood up. "You didn't." The ultrasound appeared on screen, the heartbeat filling the room. "Meet your future niece or nephew, Raquel. My baby, conceived through IVF, carried by a wonderful surrogate, and funded entirely by my empty career." "This is ridiculous." Mom jumped up. "You can't just... This isn't how things are done." "Isn't it?" I turned to face her. "Tell me, Mom, what's wrong with creating a family my way? With choosing surrogacy over waiting for Mr. Right? With using my success to make my dreams come true?" "I can explain this." Raquel grabbed her microphone. "She's clearly having a breakdown." "The only breakdown here," I cut in, "is your illusion of control over my life." Gordon stood up. "Skylar, this is exactly what I meant about your obsession." "Sit down, Gordon." My voice could have frozen fire. "You lost the right to comment on my choices when you walked out after the fertility diagnosis." The room erupted in chaos. Raquel's camera crew circled like vultures. Pastor Mike tried to approach the stage. Aunt Margaret was openly weeping. "My baby is due in 6 months," I announced over the noise. "I'm sharing this news not because I need your approval, but because I'm done hiding, done pretending your judgment matters, done letting you write my story." But what will people think?" Mom wailed. "They'll think I'm brave," I said. "They'll think I'm strong. They'll think I refuse to let your narrow vision of family stop me from creating my own." Raquel stormed toward the stage, but security blocked her path. "You're doing this to spite me, to steal attention from my pregnancy." "No, Raquel, not everything is about you." I clicked to the next slide, a photo of my nursery. "This is about me, my choice, my family, my future." "I think it's wonderful," Brian's voice cut through the chaos. He stood up, facing the crowd. "Congratulations, Sky. You'll be an amazing mother." One by one, others joined him. Cousins I hadn't expected support from, friends of the family, even Alea, who looked thoroughly ashamed. "This isn't over," Raquel snarled, storming out with her camera crew. "Actually," I said to her, retreating back, "it is." The story you all tried to write for me, it's over. My story is just beginning. Mom followed Raquel out, dabbing her eyes dramatically. Pastor Mike trailed after them, looking confused. But others stayed, approaching me with genuine congratulations. That, Samantha whispered, hugging me, was epic. I touched my flat stomach, thinking of my baby growing safely in Lisa's. The truth was out now, and it felt like flying. Let them run. Let them rage. Let them try to spin this however they want. I'd chosen my path, created my miracle, written my own ending, and not one of their cameras could capture how free I finally felt. "How dare you!" Mom burst back into the venue, mascara streaking her cheeks. "How dare you ambush us like this?" The remaining guests fell silent, watching the confrontation unfold. Samantha stepped closer to me, but I waved her back. This was my battle. "Ambush you?" I laughed, the sound sharp and cold. "Like you ambushed me at every family gathering. Like you ambushed me with Gordon's presence tonight. We were trying to help you." She gestured wildly at the screen, still showing my ultrasound. This is not normal. A baby needs a father." "A baby needs love," I corrected, "and stability, and a parent who chose them deliberately, not because society said it was time." Raquel stormed back in, camera rolling. "Go ahead, Sky. Tell everyone how you went behind our backs, how you're making a mockery of family values." "Family values?" I stepped down from the stage, approaching them. "Let's talk about those. Let's talk about how you announced your first pregnancy at my promotion dinner. How you wore white to Samantha's wedding. How you told everyone about your engagement at Dad's last birthday before he died." "That's different." "How?" I demanded. "Because you did it the right way, with a husband and a white picket fence." "At least I didn't buy my baby," Raquel spat. The room gasped. Brian stepped forward, finally speaking up. "Raquel, that's enough." "No, let her continue," I said calmly. "Let everyone see exactly who you are." "I'm not the one parading my desperation on stage." She thrust her camera closer. "Tell them how much you paid. Tell them about all the doctors you harassed. Tell them—" "Tell them what?" I interrupted. "That I used my own money to create a family. That I refused to settle for a loveless marriage just to meet your timeline. That I'm successful enough to choose motherhood on my terms." "You're twisting everything," Mom wailed. "We only wanted what's best for you." "No," my voice cut through her tears. "You wanted what was easiest for you, what fit your narrow world view, what wouldn't embarrass you at church." Alea stepped forward, surprising everyone. "She's right, Aunt Meredith. We've all been horrible to her." "Stay out of this," Raquel snapped. "No." Alea straightened her spine. "I'm done staying quiet, done watching you tear Sky down because she's different, done pretending this is about concern when it's really about control." Mum sank into a chair, dabbing at her eyes. "Your father would be so disappointed. Dad would be proud," I said firmly. "He always told me to forge my own path, to be brave, to never let anyone else define my happiness." "How can you say that?" Raquel's voice cracked. "How can you claim to know what Dad would want?" "Because unlike you, I actually listened to him. I didn't just perform for his approval." The truth hit her like a physical blow. She stumbled back, camera dropping to her side. "I have the legal documents," I continued, pulling out a folder. "The medical clearances, the psychological evaluations, everything done properly and ethically. You can't stop this, can't shame me, can't make me doubt myself." "We're your family," Mum whispered. "No." I looked around the room at Samantha, at the supportive faces, at Brian's encouraging nod. Family supports each other, family celebrates differences, family loves unconditionally. You're just people I'm related to. You don't mean that, Raquel said, but her voice wavered. I do. I gathered my things, ready to end this chapter. And until you can accept my choices, respect my path, and truly celebrate my joy, we're done. You can't cut us off. Mum stood up. We're blood. Blood doesn't give you the right to abuse me. I turned to address the whole room. To anyone who supported me tonight, thank you. To those who didn't, I hope you learn from this. I hope you grow, but I won't wait around for it. Raquel made one last attempt, her camera raising. This isn't over, Sky. Actually, it is. I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. I'm having a baby, I'm happy, I'm successful, and I don't need your permission for any of it. I walked out, head high, leaving them with their dropped jaws and shattered assumptions. Samantha followed, along with several others who chose that moment to take a stand. Behind us, I heard Mum's sobs, Raquel's angry protests, the murmur of confused relatives. But for the first time in my life, their voices didn't matter. I touched my phone, feeling the weight of Lisa's latest ultrasound photo in my pocket. My baby was growing stronger every day, unaware of the storms they'd already weathered. Let them talk, let them judge, let them try to rewrite this story. I'd already won the only battle that mattered. The nursery walls glowed soft yellow in the morning light as I arranged stuffed animals in the crib. A gentle kick against my hand made me smile as I felt Lisa's belly. My baby girl was active today. She's definitely doing somersaults in there, Lisa laughed, settling into the rocking chair. Just like her mum, always moving forward. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Brian standing there, looking uncomfortable. Hey, Sky, can we talk? We sat in my living room, where the ultrasound photos now held pride of place on the wall. Raquel had her baby yesterday, he said. A girl. Congratulations. Thanks. He fidgeted with his wedding ring. Look, she's been different since your reveal. Quiet her. Mom, too. I think you shook something loose in them. That's not my problem anymore. I know. But... He pulled out his phone, showing me a social media post. Raquel in her hospital bed, looking exhausted but genuine. The caption read, "Becoming a mother has made me realize how wrong I've been about so many things. To those I've hurt, I'm sorry, I'm learning." Words are easy, I said, but something in my chest loosened slightly. She asked me to give you this. He handed me an envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. Sky, I've been sitting here holding my daughter, thinking about what kind of example I want to set for her. Not the one I've been setting for our family. Not the cruel, controlling person I became. You were braver than I ever was. Stronger. You chose your path and walked it alone because we gave you no choice. I'm sorry. Those words feel small compared to years of hurt, but they're true. If you're willing, I'd like my daughter to know her cousin, to learn from her aunt's strength, to see that family comes in all forms. No cameras this time, no judgment, just a sister asking for a chance to do better. Raquel. She means it, Brian said softly. The birth, it changed something in her, made her see things differently. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. The nursery is ready whenever you want to see it. No pressure, no questions, just love. Lisa waddled in from the bathroom. Everything okay? I showed her the letter. She read it, then squeezed my hand. What are you thinking? I'm thinking. I looked around my home, at the life I'd built, at the family I'd chosen. I'm thinking that strength isn't just about standing alone. Sometimes it's about giving people space to grow. I texted Raquel. Congratulations on your daughter. Mine's due in 8 weeks. Maybe they can be friends instead of rivals. Her response came quickly. I'd like that. No pressure, no cameras, just sisters. Just sisters, I replied. Samantha arrived for our weekly dinner, carrying paint samples for the nursery accent wall. She saw the letter in my hand. You okay? Yeah. I touched my phone, where Mom's text still glowed. I think I am. You know you don't have to forgive them, she said carefully. I know. I stood up, walking to the nursery doorway. But maybe forgiveness isn't about erasing the past. Maybe it's about creating a better future. Lisa joined us, her hand on her belly. She's kicking again. Want to feel? We gathered around, laughing as my daughter made her presence known. In that moment, I realized something profound. I'd won not by cutting ties, but by being strong enough to define my own terms. My phone lit up with another text from Alea. Family brunch this Sunday. No drama, no judgment, just food, and maybe some healing. Your choice. I looked at Samantha, my chosen sister, at Lisa, carrying my miracle, at Brian, who'd found his voice, at the letter from Raquel, who'd found her truth. What do you think, baby girl? I whispered to my daughter through Lisa's belly. Ready to teach our family a new way to love? She kicked again, strong and sure. I texted back, brunch sounds good, but I'm bringing Lisa and Samantha. My family includes them now. Alea's response, of course it does. Family is family, no matter how it grows. The afternoon sun painted shadows across the nursery walls, across the life I'd built, across the bridges I thought I'd burned, but might just be ready to rebuild. Differently this time, on my terms. Let them come to brunch. Let them meet my chosen family. Let them learn what I've known all along. That love doesn't follow rules. That family isn't about permission. That sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones brave enough to grow. And my daughter would know all of it. The struggle, the triumph, and yes, maybe even the healing. Because that's what family really means.